How to Tame Your Dragons. Jodi is a homegrown, born and bred in South Africa local. She's always loved the stage, but not being in the spotlight. Since a little girl, she has wanted to make a difference, to impact lives, to change something, to help people reach their potential and be the best version of themselves. After school, she dived into her love for theology and psychology and used both academic worlds to feed her mind and soul. She found a niche in the world of academia and faith and put the best of both these worlds together to merge as a clinical pastoral therapist, using what she had learnt of human psyche and pathology together with her worldview of each person being created in God's sacred image. No matter how small the victory or how deep the abyss, Jodi considers it a privilege to hear about people's stories and walk a journey with them. Jodi has grown in her love for that which is different and not boxed, for the struggling, the broken, the underdog, the different, the rejected, the wounded, the hurt, the broken-hearted, the lonely, the unique ones instead of the odd ones out. She used to be the happy-go-lucky social butterfly that threw caution to the wind and let the Durban salt air dry her hair. But life has taught her that sometimes short hair is more funky. Caution can be a friend. Having 4 boys is the definition of insanity, and that even butterflies need to take on battles.
How to Tame Your Dragons. Picture this. You are walking through a dense forest, and you stumble upon what looks like a meteor-ravaged pathway. In the middle of this destructive trail lies an enormous, frightening dragon. Hailed as the unholy offspring of death itself, your only training if faced with such a threat is to run and hide and pray it doesn't find you. As a Viking, your purpose is to crush mountains, level forests, tame seas, and kill dragons. Yet as you raise your weapon to slay this wounded creature, you catch sight of your reflection in its eyes. In a moment of hesitation, you lower your defenses, for you see yourself through the eyes of your greatest fear, and something changes. The dragon doesn't need to be slayed, it just needs to be tamed. The first step towards taming your dragon is getting to know what it looks like. Where are its hiding places and playgrounds? The second step is, upon reflection, allowing your dragon to challenge and change you. And the third step is learning to fly with your dragon in freedom, no longer in the fear that once gripped you. I remember when I encountered one of my largest dragons. Its presence was always known but seldom seen, camouflaged by natural light. A homeless man had approached me for money, and my meager response was followed by an aggressive outpouring of verbal abuse. The encounter unnerved me and awoke my sleeping dragon. It shook my inner sense of peace and rattled one of my greatest fears. This stranger's opinion of me had completely unnerved that inner sense of peace, and it needed some digging, some truth, and some taming. I so needed his approval. But upon his disdain, the waves of fear and anxiety hit me. As difficult as that encounter was, it was a gift to me, seeing my fear of people's opinion of me, my dragon, and getting to know it and begin the journey of learning how to tame it. Once you know what your dragon looks like, allow it to challenge and change you. Last year, my youngest son, Jude, decided to take up cross-country. And after competing in an inter-schools race, he arrived home proudly sporting a permanent marker number 7 on his wrist. I was amazed at how well he had done. Later that evening, in a sobering moment, Jude came and confessed to me how he had rubbed out the second digit on his hand. He so wanted my approval that he had lied about how well he had done. But upon reflection, in the face of that little dragon, he realized it felt better to tell the truth. Being honest became more important than looking good. Your third step is learning to fly with your dragon in freedom. Now, conversations between my teenage sons and my friends often involves them educating us on how we have been lost in their translation. And as Levi was educating us on the bro code or the jargon they use, he began indiscreetly and unapologetically farting. Now, as much as I may be exposed to this kind of behavior as a mom of 4 boys, in front of my friends, I absolutely challenged his freedom of expression. To which he replied, without pause or pardon, in the words of Dr. Zeus, "Those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind." I was at a loss for words. He felt completely comfortable being himself around us. Any dragons of self-esteem or fear of people's opinion had been tamed, and he was riding his wave of freedom. It's no secret that we are not Vikings with fantastical beasts for pets. We all have dragons. They may look different nowadays, but they still need to be reined in. I dare you to venture into that dense forest and seek out the ravaged pathways that hold your greatest threats and fears and vulnerabilities. What do they look like? Where do they play? And where do they hide? When do they sleep? And when do they misbehave? I invite you to look them in the eye and allow them to challenge you and to change you. Move from slaying the things you are afraid of to taming them. It's taken me years to get to know my own personal fears and vulnerabilities, and I'm still learning. They have challenged me, broken me, taught me, and changed me. Some have been tamed, and others still lurk. But oh, I have flown in freedom, and I continue to seek for flight on the thermals of life. To live in freedom, not fear, is the greatest gift of having tamed your dragon. I'm Jodi de Lijster, and if you could do with a sojourner on your pathways of encountering your fears and vulnerabilities, your personal dragons, let's connect.